Trent Canyon right there. Like if they just kind of keep that, like when they do the overview of the hole, like you
Yeah.
got to avoid Trent Canyon. Like that's like
Or
the shit
maybe they
that
name the
would
pond after you.
be. Yeah.
Ooh. I wonder if that. I don't know if that pond
The
has a name.
Gulf
I
of
would love.
Trent. The Gulf
I
of
would.
Trent.
Gulf
Trent
Gulf
of
of
Trent's
Trent,
pretty good.
named
yes.
the
Gulf of
shit
Trent's
out of
pretty good.
that.
You put
Yeah.
that in front of the right person right now, it's probably going to get done.
All right, it's the rundown. Thursday, March 13th. The Good Mood crew is in. Me and my guys. My guys. We're in the basement today, boys. Bob Fox, Large, and any more Oscar takes before we get started on the day, boys? Or I think
Fuck
we let them
Adrian
all out.
Brody.
Fuck Adrian Brody, right where he breathes.
And
Right.
Honora? That was the other one? Honora?
I
Yeah.
liked it
Honora?
more. No, I liked it.
Oh no. Yeah.
Okay.
Sex work is real work.
Man, I was shaking my fist when I saw all the Honora stuff. I was like, oh, yeah, we said we hated them that Monday. I guess not. So egg on my face. Well, that's good. We're getting into the sports time. Sports start be picking up soon. And when you were doing that, you got to get on DraftKings. Who's scoring big in the NBA this season? You are, with all the new ways to get in on the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. DraftKings is the home of NBA player props, so you can get behind your favorite players any which way, from monster slams to dishing the rock to cleaning the glass. It's super easy for first timers to get started. Try betting on something simple like picking an NBA player prop. Here's something special for first timers. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Take it to the rack with DraftKings Sportsbook. Every point counts. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code RUNDOWN. That's code RUNDOWN for new customers to get $150 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. And boys, we're starting off this Barstool Sports production with some capital letters sports. Oh, our sweet T, our sweet Trent with an all-time moment at the Creators Championship at TPC Sawgrass before the Players Championship, I imagine.
Yes.
Bob, as the former roommate of Trent, I'll let you have the floor for what was. I mean, is it even his
Oh
greatest
my God. It's Trent. That's like Stone Cold. The glass just shattered.
Fellas,
I didn't know you were joining Trent.
Yeah, I got sent the link. I clicked on it, and here I am, baby. What's up?
Trent, welcome to the rundown. I don't know if you saw yesterday, while you were in the Creator Championship, I was putting out just some ride or die misinformation for you. I was saying Trent is in 10th place. I was saying Trent, all I said about your 17th shot, I said Trent hit the green on 17. That's all we have to say about it, right? I mean, you hit the green, the crowd went wild. It sounded like, I showed the video to Large before. Large just turned around, he goes, oh my God, he got it in? I said, no, he just hit the green. He thought that reaction was a hole in one.
Yeah, I mean, listen, yeah, all that matters is that I eventually hit it, because it took a while. You know, I thought it was, Frankie and I all day were like, it's an 8-iron, it's going to be fine. And then it took like 4 or 5 attempts, but we got there. And the people were into it. It wasn't like people were like, oh my God, get this guy off the tee box. They were into it. So it was really, it ended up being good. We were, me and Frankie were saying, either you make a hole in one or you stand there for 10 minutes and try to get the ball in the green. You got to do one or the other. And we just happened to do the latter.
Trent, I got a question. Have you played golf before, or is that
you son of a bitch? You sound like the World War III that my mentions are right now. I'm either the savior of golf, or I'm the worst thing that's ever touched a golf club. So yeah, no, it was a rough day. It's a hard golf course. I'm not gonna make too many excuses, but that was a hard fucking golf course.
I thought it was awesome as just like a test. This should be, Trent should travel with the PGA Tour. We should see how a regular guy is able to play the course before the pros do. You should see, oh, this is what he would have. He would have, a plus whatever Trent had. We don't need to get into numbers right now. It's not about that.
no?
Dude, we've made that case before, and I think I've heard other people say it at the company about, like, in the Olympics, just throw a regular guy in the pool and see how they do against all these Olympians, because then
it should be you. It should be Trent. He should be the test for all of it.
If I swim, I'll die out there. Okay, I'll drown in that pool. But like I'm saying, it's like, yeah, it's a measuring stick for it actually highlights how good these golfers are at the sport, because the tournament started today. You're going to see low numbers, and that is an incredibly, incredibly difficult golf course. So yeah, if you throw a guy like me out there, you're going to see what a 15 handicap is going to shoot. Now, the other players in the Creator Classic field, they're a little bit better, right? So their scores are going to be 1, 2, 3 over. I think somebody was even, and that's cool, but it's way more interesting, at least to us, to watch a guy who is going to struggle out there really struggle. And that's what we did. We struggled.
I think that's exactly what Dave said, right? I remember there was some controversy with the Creators Classic or something like this when you guys were trying to throw like your best golfer out there, and Dave's like, no, let's throw a normal dude from Iowa, right? It's like you fit it to a T, bro. However, there's one part of your body that is made to withhold. It's like an athletic specimen. It's those cankles. How are the cankles feeling after surviving that divot that you created, that hole in the earth you created? I thought we were losing it for a minute.
Oh!
You missed it.
I'm all right. My left foot slipped.
Whoa.
We're all right.
They feel fine. Like I don't even felt like I went on a nice leisurely walk yesterday. It's real. They're not sore, nothing. Yeah, I mean, like I said in my tweet, a lesser man shatters his ankles, probably tears a couple ACLs and maybe my wrists, but I was fine. And that divot I took out, that's another thing it's a polarizing thing because people are like, oh my God, this guy is ruining the golf course before a big tournament starts. If you watch the clip, my left foot slips and I just completely missed the ball. We counted it as a stroke because that's how you do it in golf. And then we just moved on. But yeah, that was, it got dicey there for a second, Clem, for sure.
I can't tell you how much I would love for a ball to go right into that divot on Sunday. I know they have the best course managers in the world, but imagine just a Spieth roll it right in, boom, in the divot. I would love to see that. I have a question as well. Yeah. I saw you signing autographs for kids like you were Michael Jordan in the prime of his career, and you gave away your hat in the end, but it looked like you didn't want to give away your hat. Was there confusion with the kid? Did the kid think you were giving him a hat, but you weren't, and then you had to do it?
Yeah, so I love that hat. It's my tailor-made hat. It just I have a huge head, so it's a pretty specific hat type that makes me look halfway decent. And that tailor-made one was perfect. It was just like it made me look like I have a normal sized head. And yeah, I was signing all those autographs, which is crazy, devaluing every piece of memorabilia that I touched. And then, a kid came up to me at the end and was like, "Can I have your hat?" And I was always going to give it to him, but there was a beat where I was like, man, I fucking love this hat. Like, I really want to keep this hat, but I can't not give it to him. So I did end up giving it to him. But I was thinking about it today.
Thank God it was caught on video, too, because at least you have that now. People go, oh, nice guy, Trent.
Oh,
Thousands of people have seen it.
Of course. Yeah, maybe if the camera's not there, I shove that kid to the ground. But with the camera there, I was thinking about it today. I wish I had that hat. So I got to just get another one. They produce a lot of those hats, so I'll just get another one. But I had to give my kid that kid the hat.
I thought at the same time, I was like, there's nobody I would wish this upon less than Trent. Actually, the three other guys in this chat other than me, because nicest guy in the world, should never have any degree of public embarrassment. But the perfect person for this to happen to is also Trent, right? Because you can use this and build on it for like a ton of content. So now do you go into the laboratory with beef and then show up at TPC next year and, like kind of, I don't know, redeem yourself?
I would love to get a chance to redeem myself for sure. I would love to give it another whack. I've gotten a lot of that too. Like, oh my God, you should be like, people are like, it was a funny moment, but are you like at all embarrassed because, you have this golf brand, you guys host a golf podcast? I really don't care. Like, it's going to sound like I do, but I really don't. Like, it was a funny moment. We had fun with it. The crowd was into it. And then we just move on from it. But to your question, I would love redemption. At some point, I would love to get in the lab a little bit, probably work with Beef, and just, I would love to hit it in once. So if they offer me a chance at redemption, I'll probably have to take it.
I will call up TPC, to Robbie's point, and ask him to leave that. So you'll have like Amen's corner, like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
Like Trent Canyon right there. Like if they just kind of keep that, like when they do the overview of the hole, like, boy, Trent Canyon, like that's like.
Or maybe they name the pond after you.
Yeah.
Ooh. I don't know if that pond has a name.
Gulf of Trent. The Gulf of Trent.
Gulf of Trent,
pretty
yes.
Good. Gulf of Trent's pretty good. You put that in front of the right person right now, it's probably going to get done.
I got to ask Trent out because I was going to have this debate with Robbie before I knew you were coming on. Where does this rank in your ever-growing list of highlights in the golf world, because you have the break in 100, the break in 90. You've had some incredible shots, and then the entire buildup, which led to yesterday's moment. Where does this sit in that level? What's number one? Where are we standing?
You forgot about where are you stationed? That was a big one as well.
Oh gosh, that one was. People still ask me that. Wherever I go, they ask me where I'm stationed, and it throws me back. Like I feel it in my head. So
that's dead last. That's dead last on the list, right?
I mean, it's so funny. It's actually kind of to what Large was saying, where it's like all of these moments, the beauty of Barstool is it just kind of ends up working out. Like if I were a CBS reporter, if I worked for NBC, they would try to hide these things that happened to me on the golf course. They would bury it, they would delete the footage, and they would never talk about it again. If you just embrace these things at Barstool, they just I'm on the rundown. We kind of took over golf Twitter yesterday. You do it the right way and people embrace it. In terms of a top moment, I mean, I'm pretty biased because it happened yesterday, but showing the creator event, because we had beef with the original creator event. We were like, you guys are getting all these people in here that are just really good at golf, and if you just want to show really good golf in a stroke play event, you guys run the PGA Tour. That's what that is. It doesn't fit the mold when you're trying to bring in this YouTube world. So just sort of showcasing that as they kept throwing up my score on the broadcast where I was 28, 29 over. And we're laughing and that's the funniest shit ever. And just showing that side of what creator golf can be, it puts that moment really, really high for me, honestly.
That's awesome, man.
Also, I said when they showed the replay, if you hit in the green on 17, the replay with the crowd behind you, as the shot started, I was like, oh, this is going to be a shot and a gift that he could use for the rest of his life. With you putting the hands up and everyone in the crowd acting like you just won the Masters. It was a reaction that golfers dream of, I'm sure. It's you got to play basically it's like the guitar we say with Pup Punk. It feels like we're playing Guitar Hero because it's fake. You got the real PGA reaction for the Creator Championship.
Yeah, I had people coming up to me saying, congratulations on winning the Players. I won the event. It started today, but it's we'll see what happens. But it was a surreal
You think
scene.
people are talking about Jordan Spieth and Colin Morikawa? Or are they talking about Trent? They're talking about Trent.
I mean, at least for this next day, if somebody makes a hole in one, that'll be a huge deal. I mean, I had Justin Thomas put up the video of me taking that huge chunk of dirt out of the golf course, and then we DM'd a little bit after. He was like, "That made my day, dude. That's the funniest thing I've seen in a long time." So yeah, it's reaching parts of the golf world that I certainly did not expect.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's what it's. It's like the domino meme. Trent and Riggs go golfing in a snowstorm with Bob Fox taking the picture, and then Trent wins the Players. That's the entire domino meme right
there. Trent, how do you think this would be if it wasn't you, though? If it was one of the other foreplay guys? If Frankie shit the bed, don't you think that it doesn't, honestly, I think that you get a groundswell of support just because you're a good human being. I think Riggs would have a tough
Unlike Frankie.
time. If Riggs shot 29, or even Frankie, I'm not saying that their hateability is that much greater than yours, but that would fucking end the Riggs, wouldn't it? I mean,
yeah, I mean, we're all at very different levels of the sport in terms of our ability. I think Frankie is probably the best player in our group now. So I think if he had done that, I just don't think he would have done that, because for him, he just would have put it on the green and won. Place would have gone crazy. And people would have loved that. Riggs is in a spot where he seems to be very hateable, and if he does that, it would be oh my. I mean, I don't know how much worse it can get, in terms of how people would have react to that. For me, I always I try to keep myself in a place where it's the expectations are pretty low, because I know I'm not that good at golf. If you're just honest about that part of it, I'm just oh yeah, you can't. I mean, if I'd hit the green and won, that's crazy successful and people would have loved it. If it takes me 5 swings to do it, that's actually almost more crazy successful and fun. So I can't speak to the other guys, but I've just sort of positioned myself, not really even on purpose. I'm just I'm not very good at golf. I love covering it. I love the sport. It's really fun to make videos with Frankie and Riggs. And I've just sort of found myself in this position where it's if I do well, great. If I do horribly, kind of even better.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's very strange.
Great spot to be in. You're between a pillow and a couch. It's not a rock and a hard place,
Yeah,
I like that, actually.
I like
Yo,
that.
Robbie.
Oh man. Well, hey, Trev, best of luck out there. Keep growing the game. You're growing the game one video at a time.
I appreciate that. Really depends on who you ask if I am or not. But yeah, it was fun. It was fun. Hey, are the Marvel movies getting any better, or what's the deal?
Oh, get him off the rundown.
Get him off. He's out of here.
Guys,
They are getting better. This summer,
This guy's wearing nice courses.
Love you guys. Love you guys.
Get out of here,
Go hit the range.
That
You
was
suck.
bullshit. We were so nice to him. I would have been shitting on him if I knew he was going to end like that.
And the last Captain America was what was it? Aggressively mid. That was
It was aggressively mid, but Thunderbolts is going to be better. Fantastic Four is going to be better. We're going to shove it in Trent's face.
I kind of like this new season of Daredevil because I haven't watched the other one.
Yeah, we should have brought that up. It's like when you're in a shower and you're like, this is what we should have brought up in the argument. Daredevil's been great.
Get him back on the stream, Nate. Get his head. We'll get him next.
A guy that I watch on social skill, a guy named Kit Laser. You guys follow him? He's very good. But he had said that it's the type of show that you need to binge. Like, you know what I mean? I think
Daredevil
it is. Yeah, I watched the first two. I'm gonna, try and get like a good chunk in next time that I do it.
Good too. Three's good.
Is 3 good? Fuck.
Yeah, it is.
I'm probably gonna watch it tonight. Then. But I would like to binge the shit out. And
we'll talk about that in My Mom's Basement tomorrow. A little plug. Boom,
we got that and Invincible talk. Big
finale,
week in the basement. Big week in the basement. Oh man, God bless Trent. I love that. The hardest thing about Trent is he doesn't respond to text, so you need to be on a piece of Barstool content to actually talk to him, unless you happen to catch him in the office.
I didn't want to let him go. I wanted to just see if we could do a 3-hour rundown with Trent, Joe Rogan style.
So Trent, how's everyone doing? And we just catch up with him. Oh man, well we have to get something to get that bad taste out of our mouths, and Trent threw that evil Marvel slander out there. And if you need to get something good, it's lunchtime even. Get yourself some Pardon My Cheesesteak. It's almost tournament time, and ordering Pardon My Cheesesteak for your game day meal or late night eats is the best play call you can make. Pardon My Cheesesteak offers a wide variety of cheesesteaks, loaded fries, and popular desserts, all delivered right to your door. Pick your favorite cheesesteak made with thinly sliced steak, melted provolone, mouth-watering cheese sauce, and caramelized onion on a toasted hoagie roll. Or you can order the popular Big Cat combo and get your choice of cheesesteak, fries, and a drink. So I think football has always been the centerpiece for just getting some takeout and just eating and watching games. But I almost associate those first 2 days of March Madness, or even the opening weekend, as the best time to just sit down and just gorge your face off. So load up on some cheesesteaks. Large, what's your cheese on a cheesesteak? What's your go-to?
Cooper Sharp. Cooper Sharp American. Yeah. Okay. I remember the first time I reviewed a cheesesteak that had Cooper Sharp on it, I'd said it was Cooper Sharp cheddar. And they came after me. Just because I think sharp cheese, I always think like shit. And then Cooper Sharp sent me a bunch of cheese afterwards. Cooper Cheese Company, yeah. So, but even outside that, it's an elite cheese. But I'm also a whiz guy. Like if I go to a place,
I'm a big whiz guy. I love the whiz. Yeah.
I gotta go whiz. I gotta go cheese sauce. So that's the thing. You could look at a menu and you can tell you're just gonna get some just regular old cheese at certain places. No. They got the cheese sauce there. So go to Pardon.
Let me ask you something, Clem. Outside of Pardon My Cheesesteak, what's the best cheesesteak you've ever had?
I've never had another cheesesteak other than Pardon My Cheesesteak. So go to pardonmycheesesteak.com to order with promo code PMC20 for 20% off your order. We could take that conversation offline another time because I'm pretty sure me and Robbie actually have the same answer. Believe it or not.
We definitely do, yeah.
So let's just be honest here. That Trent segment, a grace of the content gods that we had someone to talk about. It's a light subject day. However, this one was thrown into the text chain. And I'll be honest, boys, knock my socks off. I didn't even know this was a thing. So there's reportedly, and I feel like stuff like this is reportedly until it actually happens, a mega event reportedly being planned out by TKO, the company, for Saudi Arabia this year or even next. WWE event, boxing event, UFC event. I don't even know what you call this. The triple threat. It's something that is right. It's something that's so incredible. And I was a diehard WWE guy growing up. Boxing, I had my moments, and UFC as well. I was watching UFC back when Tank Abbott was fighting in Brazil with that old logo with the dude holding the world. I've never even thought of an instance where you put three of these sports together under one roof, one night only. I don't even know what to start. I got my combat guys here. This was another one from the content god. So boys, take it away. I don't even know what to say right now.
Large, you want to kick this one off?
Sure. So as soon as you see this, that there's going to be a mega event where we'll have boxing, UFC, and WWE all under one roof for the first time for one event. It's almost overwhelming. I can't even work out in my head what the semantics would be because you know that there are no bigger egos than in combat sports. So it's like who's going to be the main event? Like, you know, the whole deal seems like it's almost impossible. It's when you have like two big bands touring. Who's the main,
Yeah.
you know, who's the closer and stuff like that. But if it does happen, I don't think you can find a stadium big enough to host this, right? Because everybody who is into WWE is kind of into either boxing and UFC. And I think the inverse is also true. When you read the internet,
It goes back and forth. I can't tell sometimes.
well, when you read comments, everybody who's likes the UFC shits on boxing. Everybody who likes boxing shits on the UFC. I don't know why we all can't get along. I don't give a fuck.
I know.
Like, I just like to watch great fighting, and I also like the fucking, you know, the playfulness of WWE, right? So this is a bucket list event if they can get it together. But to your point, Clem, in these early hours, I can't get my head around it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know where they would do it, Robbie. Could this be like a 3-day festival? Should they rent out?
I think that's more
tracks?
likely.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's what it should be.
Because
Yeah.
like I'm the same way as you. We both know with Saudi Arabian money being thrown around nowadays,
Yeah.
this could absolutely happen. It's not a matter of like, do you think this is in the realm of possibility? It is at this point. Like, especially with TKO, they own the UFC and WWE. They're under one umbrella already. And Dana is now working with Turkey, the sheik from Saudi, who's like an advisor to their sports council.
His Excellency Turkey Al-Sheikh, put some fucking respect on this man's wallet.
There you go, Turkey Al-Sheikh. I always butcher the last name. So I think this could happen now, especially that Dana and him are going into the boxing realm and everything. But how do the logistics work out? Like Large said, who main events? I would imagine it's either boxing or UFC. I would probably kick the show off with wrestling because I think the wrestling fans are going to be there for whatever. And I think the combat sports fans are going to be a little judgmental towards wrestling. So you kick the night off by showing them something that can really impress them. And then later on, you get into the real fighting. That being said, what if you have an amazing WWE match mid-show? You know, the crowd's going wild. 1, 2, oh! And then it's a stinker like we had this weekend in the UFC or something in the main event. It's weird. Also, how does it work with the rings? Would this be MMA in a ring, which happens sometimes? That's been known to happen. Risen still does it sometimes. But you have to have different rings for boxing and WWE. They are different rings. A boxing ring is much stiffer than a wrestling ring.
Bobby,
So
that's
I don't know
why
how they work that out.
You start with boxing, right? You start, and you're right, because we can watch boxing. You can watch a whole fight card where it's just dancing. You can watch a whole UFC card where it's just dry humping, you know, but when you're watching WWE, somewhere along the line, so I guess you start boxing, then you drop in the octagon to cover the boxing ring, and you hold the WWE fights in that, and then you lift out the fucking boxing ring and you do UFC at the end of the night. Like, that would be kind of fucking cool, you know, because you almost steel
If they could work it out, it would be cool. It would seem like something like when you see these big festivals and they build the stage behind the stage and it turns around, and it's like really cool logistically if it could work.
Yeah.
How long are rounds in UFC? Is it 3 minutes?
5.
5. I was going to say, if we could get maybe all three at the same time, 3 different rings right in the middle.
Oh, like a 3-ring circus?
Yes. The only thing is the bell. You're going to have 2 that rely on the bell. And I guess the wrestling, they have a little bit of leeway, obviously, the way that they set up that sport. Let's be honest here, though. If we had a power rank most likely to screw this all up, boxing is the minus 1,000 favorite.
Yeah, probably.
Because that's the one thing about Saudi money that makes me think this could happen, is that Saudi money is so... it fixes all problems. It has actually gotten boxers to box, right, Large? Like for years, you couldn't get these fights. And then these Saudi, Mr. Ali Sheikh, the honorable, whatever you want to call him, throws his wallet down. And now we actually have shit happen, which is for the first time.
The honorable, whatever you want to call him.
Didn't remember that to come out like
His
that.
Excellency Turkey Al Sheikh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm trying to get some tickets at some point.
I can tell.
Like, so that has opened it up, right? So now boxing is more DTF than it's ever been. Honestly, in my 50 years, I'm seeing these matchups pop up like they were in the 70s and the 80s, to your point. So I think anything goes. I do see on this one little graphic that they put out, and again, this came from Knockout. I don't know who these people are at all, but they have a shitload of followers, 1.4 million followers. So, it's a big account. So on the graphic, they put like Canelo on it. I don't know if Canelo would agree to be the first one up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then they put John Cena on it. Like who's the third guy? What's the guy's name?
Just Islam Makhachev.
Yeah, like so I don't know whether or not these guys, any combat sport person thinks they should be the headliner at every event that they've ever been in. You know what I mean? Like you've seen guys who fight even before the pay-per-view starts, and like, I should be on a fucking card. So
Yeah.
yeah, so logistically it's a fucking nightmare, but sign the three of us at least up for it. I think there's another three
of course.
people that'll be knocking down the door to get into this thing.
That's exciting. Like you said, if it's a one-night event, a festival, some sort of thing, just dudes getting carved out. Bob, I was gonna say, like you said, you almost have to lead with a big-time wrestling event to like get the hardcore fight, old school fighting. Do they still do like hardcore wrestling? Could we get like who's the Mick Foley who's taking barbed wire and exploding boards? I feel like that could get those people and they see some real plasma coming out of heads.
Go back on Peacock, watch the last WWE pay-per-view, the Elimination Chamber, where John Cena turned heel. There was an unsanctioned match, they called it, between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If you are an old school wrestling fan that appreciates the Cactus Jack, Mick Foley, hardcore style, Terry Funk, this was the match for you. It was a fucking war. They used real barbed wire. The talent requested that it was not shaved down or gimmicked because they wanted it to fucking show up on them. It's crazy, but they do still do some crazy hardcore wrestling.
What happens if Barstool steals this idea? Because we've been known to do that.
Rough and Rowdy.
We start the night off with Rough and Rowdy,
good.
Right? Then we go from Rough and Rowdy right into some sort of golf thing with Trent. And then
and then like indie wrestling.
Then we cap off the evening with the 1-on-1-to-1 tournament that is going to be absolutely viral, particularly the first round matchup. There's one that's particularly intriguing between myself and Robbie. That's must-see TV. That would be a night to remember. The Barstool triple header.
Yes.
I think any Barstool triple header by contract has to include a mini golf and a combine. So you have to just figure out how to get those in there as well.
By the way,
and like a spelling bee for some reason.
The Out and About boys are in the Barstool store. They have a Barstool triple header. It's three dildos.
Oh.
Yeah, and it's mainly for parties or just to be like a conversation piece. But
it's a coat hanger. Yeah.
That's a conversation starter or ender, depending on what kind of party you're at. What kind of dinner party you're at. We're talking about all the money in Saudi land. One person who maybe could fund this himself, Josh Allen. He said he took less money with the Buffalo Bills because an extra $5 million would make no real difference in his life. Bob Fox, as someone who has a franchise quarterback, don't you just love hearing that from a guy?
I mean, this makes total sense to me. When you're as rich and famous as Josh Allen, I don't think $5 million is like an extra couple grand to us, right? Like for him, that's whatever. He's got life figured out. Doesn't even seem like he's like a big spender. You don't see Josh Allen and his new Lamborghini every other week. It's just like he goes on dates with Kate Bishop, Haley Steinfeld, and lives his life. I don't know. He seems like a super normal guy. So I read this quote. I didn't even blink twice.
Yeah, and I can't imagine there's a lot of like clubs or money pits in Buffalo that you're going to get into during
he's not paying for shit in Buffalo either. He's probably getting everything for free in Buffalo when he goes out.
Large, as the resident rich guy on the podcast, what's your take on all this?
Thank you. His net worth is right now they say $70 million. So
that's what I mean. No way does $5 affect that.
But my thing is, when I read this, does it make you guys automatically say Josh Allen is a good guy? he's a team player, he's one of us, he's realistic? Or is it that he's so grossly fucking overpaid? Like, you know what I'm saying? That if he doesn't
Yeah.
notice that 5 million is not in his bank account, then why the fuck am I paying $250 to sit in the fucking nosebleeds to go watch him play, right? If everybody doesn't give a shit or wouldn't notice an extra 5 million, why don't we pay these
Yeah.
guys and not have people who would notice 5 million being gone, not pay $7 for a fucking box of.
I can't even really like speak to that because I wouldn't notice if 5 mil was gone from my bank account either.
Yeah, and to clarify, he signed a 6-year, $330 million contract, including $250 million guaranteed, so quarter billion.
And we're patting him on the back for turning down an extra 5? No.
So right, like doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't that? It's a misleading headline. One of us, like he's doing it, like the Buffalo fans, like and it's noble. It is noble, but holy shit, these guys get paid a lot to fucking wear tight pants and play a kids game, huh?
Yeah.
The thing with Josh Allen is it's almost like the final hammer on all the other good stuff he's done. And again, this is a little slanted. He was coming into part of my take when they were riding for him when he was this rookie that everyone thought was going to be a bust in the NFL.
DraftJoshAllen.com.
Yeah, DraftJoshAllen.com. Absolutely just crazy story. And yeah, like I said, now he's married to a movie star. Or gonna get married. I think he is engaged, not married yet.
Engaged, I believe. Yeah.
That 5 million could go far in a wedding, though. You could definitely.
Yeah.
Stretch that 5. Maybe give that 5 million to Bob for his wedding.
I'll take it.
Maybe then Uncle Dana kind of has to step up. You can't have Josh Allen giving you more money than he gave you at the craft
Exactly. Yeah. They keep one upping each other. I wind up having like a Kardashian wedding.
Oh man. So that's the rundown. In the post show, we had here the pros and cons of prenups, which I was like, I could just let Large cook. I'd say, Large, what are your thoughts on prenups?
Oh,
Large,
this is a Dana Beers Francis video.
Yes.
That we're promoting here, which is a great series. Very funny.
Large, you essentially had the opposite of a prenup.
Yeah. So yeah, I was begging her not to have one side. You know what I mean? I guess I don't know how it would be if somebody had asked me for a prenup. Everything I own is in Annie's name, by the way. Like, you know, every time we buy stuff, we just put it in her name just because she does everything. I'm not sure what I would feel like if somebody wanted to sign one, especially if I was like a young man and getting married. We got married, 26 years ago. So I've always been kind of on the fence with how I would have reacted if a young lady would have asked, or if I would have asked a young lady to sign a prenup and throw it back in my face. I'd be like, yeah, that kind of makes sense because we were so young. If I was getting married a second time, like if Annie leaves me any day, which she could, then maybe I would consider it. But otherwise, it was never on the table for me. It wasn't ever on the table for you, right, Robbie? You're
no
age guy. Right?
I view this as like a celebrity thing, and I know I'm a celebrity, but I'm not A-list. I'm probably B, maybe B plus, we'll say. But yeah, no, I need to watch this video to be honest, because I don't know much about prenups other than like when celebrities get divorced, you see people, I hope they had a prenup. Like you see that. I actually don't know much about them, so I got to watch this Francis Dana video.
Yeah, it's going to be good. Large, you essentially had the anti-prenup because you said after a rousing night in bed, Annie decided to put a call and just wave away all your student loans, which you heard about them, right? So that's
she paid off
nice.
She paid off my school loans because I picked up a phone and it was Sally Mae, and I told them, no, he's dead, and then they're no, I don't want to talk about it. It's too painful. I have no, and I hung up, and she was like, who's that? I was like, oh, it's Sally Mae. They keep coming after me for my school loans. She's like, so she paid off my school loans before we got married, which was kind of nice of her, right? You know what I mean?
Very nice.
You didn't have to buy them out. The milk was about to be for free. But
look at you guys. What, 10 years later, you're still going strong? How long has it been?
Yeah, I think we're married 26 years this year.
Oh, you look so young. I couldn't tell.
Thanks, pal. I think we've known each other for 30. So I've been with Annie longer than I've been alive without her. Holy shit, that's something else.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I actually did the math this morning randomly, and I'm 20 years with my wife, and then 22 without her. So we're hitting the
you're on the verge. Yeah.
Yep. The man that I am has been around longer than the man without her. So
I think this week here we're all doing the calculators. This week will be 5 years since I started talking to Lady Fox.
All right, Bob.
Look at that.
You know what? Somebody had reached out. Who was it? Oh, it was you, Clem. When we were talking about the medieval times. The last time we'd gone
Yeah,
with
yeah.
John going. And I have the picture on my desk from it. And that had to be around the time when you guys first started dating. You're only probably about a year into it
No,
then.
that was we were already back post pandemic. That was 2022, I think.
Oh, I thought it was before. I thought it
So
was
that might
before.
have been like 2 years in.
Oh, wow. There you
Yeah,
go.
because she was already living in Jersey with me at that point. Yeah. Good
You
time though. We got to get back to the medieval times.
say the word. I'm there every week.
I'll tell you, I was blogging that the other day and I got the itch, boys. It's medieval times. You just see the words and you're just like, hey, let's go back. And you just think of the food. Kids love it too. It's a
It's
win-win
great.
for everyone around.
Our
So,
night
and
one. Yeah, it's great.
if your girl asks you a prenup or your husband, whatever it may be, that's tough. But if they're into
Tell her you
medieval
got to
times,
watch your Francis video first.
yes, watch the Francis video first. Go to medieval times, and we'll see you guys next week on the rundown on Monday.